Hello students, we are learning English grammar and the topic for today is determiners. There are different types of determiners like distributives, demonstratives, possessives, indefinite articles a and definite article the, interrogatives and quantifiers. We will study each type of determiners one by one. First, let us start with demonstratives. Let us read the sentences and note the highlighted words. That bag is heavy. These houses are renovated. This sweater is very soft. Those boys participated in the competition. Here, all these highlighted words are called demonstratives. We have studied about demonstratives in junior classes. The next type of determiner is possessives. Let us read the sentences and note the highlighted words. My brother is 5 years old. Your house is very spacious. Their neighbors are friendly. Our parents take us for a long drive every Sunday. His bag is new. Her dress is pretty. These highlighted words are possessives, as they show ownership and function as determiners. We have studied about possessives too in our junior classes. The next type of determiner is distributives. Let us note the highlighted words in these phrases. Every candidate, each shop, neither pencil, either magazine. So here the words every, each, neither, either are called distributives. Let us see each of them one by one. Every. Every is used for large or indefinite number. Indefinite number means we don't know what the exact number is. It indicates that there is no exception. Let us read the example. Every child received a chocolate. Now in this case, there is a large number of children and we don't know the exact number of children. Also, every child has received a chocolate. That means there is no child who has not received a chocolate. Now let us look at each. Each is used for a small group or number. In contrast to every was used for a large group of people or a large number, but each is used for a small group or a small number. Let us look at the example. Each road in this neighborhood is clean. Now our neighborhood is a small place, it's a small area, so the roads in the neighborhood will also be a small number. Therefore, each is used here. Let us look at neither. Neither is used to mean not one, not the other. That means none of the things mentioned. Let us look at the example. Neither applicant was suitable for the post. That means several applicants applied for the post, but none of them were suitable. Not even one of them was suitable. Let us look at either. Either is used to mean one of the two or both, either one or both of them. Let us look at the example. Either of them will do this work. That means either one of them will do this work or both of them will do this work. The next type of determiner is quantifiers. Let us read the sentences and note the highlighted words. Many houses were damaged in the earthquake. Some of the shops closed down early today. A lot of people suffer from health problems these days. Garima underwent much suffering last year. Have you collected any new stamps recently? So these highlighted words like many, some, a lot of, much, any, these are called as quantifiers. They perform some functions. Let us see what their functions are. many and several indicate numbers. So many and several are used to indicate numbers. For example, many apples were rotten. Several trees grew on either side of the road. They are used with countable nouns. Many and several indicate numbers and they are used with countable nouns. Much, a lot of, a little also suggest quantity and are used with uncountable nouns. Previously we have seen that many and several are used with countable nouns, but much, a lot of, little are used with uncountable nouns. For example, much rice, a lot of vegetables, a little help. All these are uncountable nouns. Some and any are used with both countable as well as uncountable nouns. They indicate both quantity and number. For example, some women, some support. Any station, any chance. Here women is a countable noun and support is an uncountable noun. Station is a countable noun and chance is an uncountable noun. So some and any are used with both countable as well as uncountable nouns. But there should be some difference between both of them. Let us see. We use some in affirmative sentences and any in negative sentences. Generally, let us look at the examples. I need some guidance in solving this problem. As we can see, this sentence is an affirmative sentence, is a positive sentence. The other sentence, there isn't any information about the flyover that was to be constructed. Now here this is a negative sentence because of the presence of isn't or is not. Therefore any is used here. So we should remember some is used in affirmative or positive sentences, any is used in negative sentences. The quantifiers the little, a little, little, they indicate quantity and they are used before uncountable nouns. Let us look at the example. The little money Amit had was sufficient to get him a good meal. Now the meaning of the little is written in the bracket. Not much but almost the whole. That means Ahmed had some money. He did not have a lot of money, but he had little money. And from that money, all of the money is sufficient. That means how much ever amount we have, the amount is small, but we are considering the whole amount. In that case, we use the little. For example, I have 5 rupees. 5 rupees is a small amount, but when I consider the whole of 5 rupees, in that case I use the little. She takes a little sugar in her coffee. Now a little means very less. That means if I have 50 rupees, from that 50 rupees, if I use 5 rupees, the amount 5 rupees is very less. So in that case, I can use a little. Now let us look at the other quantifiers. Few, the few, a few. They indicate numbers and they are used before countables. Notice that the little and a little, they are used before uncountable nouns, but few, the few and a few, they are used with countable nouns. Let us look at the examples. Few players turned up for the practice yesterday. Now few means hardly any. That means if there were 11 players in total, if any one player turns up or no player turns up, in that case we can say hardly any player turned up. So hardly any means very few. It means 1 or 2. That means the quantity is very, very less. It can even be 0. In that case, few is used. Let us look at the next example. The few members who attended the meeting supported the proposal. Now, the few means very few in number, although all of them. That means if there were 5 members in the meeting and if all of them supported the proposal, we can use the few. The few means a less amount, like 5. 5 is a less amount, a less number. So whenever there is less number but we consider whole of that number, we write the few. Let us look at the next example. A few apples in the basket were rotten. Now a few means some but not many. So we can see some similarity between the little, a little, little and few, the few, a few. Let us look at the similarities. Let us first consider the little and the few. The little is used for uncountable nouns and the few is used for countable nouns. But both of these words mean the same. In case of the little as well as the few, we have very small amount, but we are considering that whole amount. In that case, we write the little or the few. Now let us see a little and a few. A little means very less and a few also means some. That means very less. So a little and a few both indicate very less number. Few and little. Few and little also indicate very less number. So if we have to arrange the numbers indicated by the little, a little, little and few, the few, a few in ascending order, that means from the smallest one to the biggest one, the smallest one will be little and few. The amount or the number which will be little more than little and few will be a little and a few. And the maximum amount or maximum number will be the little or the few. That means the largest number or amount will be denoted by the little or the few. And the least, the smallest amount or the least amount will be indicated by few or little. I hope you have understood this. Let us move ahead. The next group of determiners is interrogatives. So let us read the sentences and note the highlighted words. Which book did you read recently? What flowers did you buy? The highlighted words are interrogatives, they are determiners. What, which, whose, how many, how much are interrogative determiners. They are used with any kind of noun to ask questions. Which is used as a determiner to ask a question about a specific group of people or things. What is used to ask a question about general group of persons or things. For example, if we have gone to a mall to buy something, we can generally ask, what am I going to buy? But if you are looking at certain group of snacks and you are trying to decide between the snacks, which snack are you going to buy? So in that case we use which. So when we go into the mall, there's a huge variety of things we can buy. So in that case we use what for general group or general people, general persons. But when we are looking at snacks, snacks is a specific group. So for that specific group we use which. Let us look at the next group, definite article the. Let us now understand the use of the determiner, the definite article the. Let us look at the examples. The definite article the is used for nouns that have already been referred to earlier. For example, I received some information. The information was true. Now here we can say that we are talking about the noun information. This is the first time the noun is used, and this is the second time the same noun is used. So whenever we are referring to something for the second time, we use the. The is used before nouns that are unique. For example, the secretary of the committee will convene the meeting. The secretary of the company is only one. The secretary of the committee is unique. So in that case, the is used. The sky was studded with stars. We have only one sky and it is unique. So the is used before sky. The is used before nouns that are specified or identified by a qualifying phrase. For example, the house at the end of the street belongs to Mr. Menon. Now, in this sentence, we are referring to the street, but there is a qualifying phrase that means the house which is at the end of the street. Here we are talking about the house and we have a qualifying phrase at the end of the street which belongs to Mr. Menon. There's an easier way to understand this. Here we are talking about the house which is at the end of the street. Now at the end of the street there can only be one house and that one house belongs to Mr. Menon. So we are referring to the unique, the specific house. So in case of that specific house we have used the. Let us look at the next example. The train from Nagpur to Delhi is a fast one. Now we are referring to that specific train which goes from Nagpur to Mumbai and not any other train. So in that case, the is used. The is used before nouns that represent a whole class. Let us look at the example. The elephant is a large animal. Now here the elephant is not referring to only one elephant. It is referring to all the elephants. The entire class of the elephant. So here the is used. The one-horned rhinoceros must be protected. So here one-horned rhinoceros is used for the whole class of rhinoceros. So here the is used. The is used before adjectives to form noun phrases that have a plural meaning. For example, the rich must help the impoverished. So here rich has plural meaning. It means everybody who is rich. Impoverished means people who are poor. So this is also a plural noun. This means all the poor people and this means all the rich people. So whenever we are referring to the adjective clauses which have plural meaning, we write the. There is a school for the deaf in this neighborhood. Now here deaf means the people who cannot hear. So here deaf is referred for all the deaf people. So this has a plural meaning. So whenever we are talking about plural meaning phrases, we write the before. The is used before the names of rivers, seas, mountain ranges and islands like the Narmada, which is a river, the Pacific Ocean is an ocean, the Suez Canal is a specific place. The is used before the names of famous families or dynasties like the Kennedys, the Mughals, the Guptas. The is used before the names of famous buildings like the Taj Mahal or the Eiffel Tower. The is used before the names of famous buildings like we have already seen. The is used before the names of religious books, the Bible, the Ramayana, the Upanishads, the Holy Quran. The is used with the superlative degree of adjectives. For example, he is the tallest boy in the class. Here, tallest is a superlative degree. This is the most beautiful sight I have ever seen. Most beautiful is a superlative degree. So, before all the superlative degrees, we use the. Now, we have seen where to use the articles. Now, let us see what are the exceptions. Let us see where we do not use articles. We do not use the determiners a, an, and the in some cases. Let us study this table and understand when the determiners a and the are not used. So there are two columns. The first one is referring to the rules. The second one has the examples. So before proper nouns, we cannot use articles before proper nouns. For example, Australia and Seema. We cannot say the Australia, a Australia, or the Seema, a Seema. That is wrong. Before abstract nouns. Now abstract nouns are qualities like intelligence and liveliness. We cannot use articles before abstract nouns like an intelligence is wrong, the liveliness is wrong, but there are some exceptions. For example, he displayed a courage never seen before. This is an exception. She was filled with a joy she had never experienced earlier. Determiners used before abstract nouns specified by a qualifying phrase or a clause. Now in both these lines there is a qualifying phrase or clause. Let us read the example again. The first one, he displayed a courage never seen before. Now this is the main clause. It has a qualifying clause never seen before. So whenever a qualifying phrase is present, we can use articles with abstract nouns. Let us read the second one. She was filled with joy she had never experienced earlier. So she was filled with joy is the main clause. She had never experienced earlier is the qualifying phrase. So whenever there is a qualifying phrase, we can use article before abstract nouns too. We will consider the topics of phrases and clauses in the coming chapters. Before uncountable nouns. We cannot use articles before uncountable nouns. For example, a sugar will be wrong, a milk will be wrong, a bread will be wrong. In phrases like go to school, go to church, go to bed, etc., when these places are used in connection with their purpose, like studying, praying, sleeping, we do not use articles. For example, we go to school by bus. She went to bed early today. So we do not write she went to school by a bus or she went to a bed early today. In such cases, we do not use articles. Before nouns used in a general sense. That means dogs are faithful animals. Here we don't write the dogs because here dogs is used in a general sense for all the dogs. In expressions like invite someone to tea, lunch, dinner, etc., we do not say the lunch, the breakfast, or a lunch or breakfast. That is wrong. Before noun pairs. That means while using two nouns together, we do not use articles. For example, Shreya worked day and night to complete the project. Here we have Noun pairs day and night. We do not say the day and the night. That is wrong. Bread and butter is my favorite breakfast. Here we have two pairs. Here we have one pair consisting of two words, bread and butter. So here we do not write the bread and the butter. That will be wrong. Before names of festivals and holidays. Do you enjoy celebrating Diwali? We do not write the Diwali. I spend Christmas with my friends. We do not write the Christmas. We don't use articles before the names of the festivals. Before the names of nationality used as a complement in a sentence. Ritesh is Indian and his friend David is German. So we do not use the before the nationalities, which will be wrong if we use the. That's all, students.